And there are many that are still saying, you know what, don't give up on Bitcoin. Besides me, so many. Robert Kiyosaki continues to say that, death and destruction is coming for the U.S. economy, for the dollar, for everyone. Don't save. Savers are losers, right? And he tells everyone to go buy and invest in real money, which include gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Yes, and he also believes real inflation is at 16%, not 7% or not 8%, whatever CPI says, right? And you know what? I don't know about gold and silver, but I do definitely agree with Bitcoin. So, yeah, we still have a lot of support, a lot of people that believe in something better, believe in something that's not controlled by the Fed or U.S. government or any governments around the world, and that's Bitcoin. Something that can't just be inflated by 4 trillion or 5 trillion, whatever the trillion is, within the last few years, right? And also, this is a gentle reminder of if we do have death and destruction of the U.S. dollar and U.S. financial system, we may end up like this, where $1 can be changed for 800,000 bolivars from Venezuela. That's what happens after you have hyperinflation, when basically the paper that the money is printed on is worth nothing, right? So hopefully this never, ever happens. Just a reminder. And also, you have Michael Saylor, of course, not giving up and saying that, you know what? Bitcoin is the best property that us commoners, right, can buy and hold and pass on. Due to, the Queen's passing recently, he made a mention that how basically, no one could really pass on their property tax-free. And no guarantee that your children in 250 years from now, if we're all still here, I mean humans, will be able to get your property, right? Unless you're royalty or you own Bitcoin. So, I mean, that's kind of true. You can always pass on your Bitcoin, right? But whoever the first cashes out will have to pay those taxes. But, maybe the IRS forgets by then. So Michael Saylor's still very bullish. I haven't heard about that $500 million buy. Last week, I thought it was going to happen, but it didn't. Or maybe he secretly bought and didn't tell anyone, didn't release it. So still waiting for that massive buy to happen. But in the meantime, you can see over here that the hash rate continues to go up. I know this one just kind of sucks. It always cuts off. But the hash rate for Bitcoin continues to go up. Miners are still hashing away, continuing forward. And that is fantastic. Fantastic indeed. Now, there is something else. A couple of charts I did want to show you guys that's interesting. I said at the beginning I found something interesting I show you guys. One of the charts is this. So this talks about the previous bear markets and the lows of those bear markets. And one of the greatest indicators that we could use to detect them is when the 50 weekly moving averages crosses below the 100 moving average. So that's usually really, really bad. Traditionally, that's considered a death cross. And when a death cross happens, it's not good. That means, the short-term momentum has gotten so weak that it is now lower than long-term, right? That's why the 50 is crossing below the 100 in this case. But the thing is, with something like a weekly indicator, it's really lagging, right? It takes a while before the averages actually move up or down. So traditionally speaking, if you look at some of these points from before, whenever that death cross happened, actually that signaled a bottom. And that happened in 2015, happened in 2018, and it just happened in 2022. Now, if this continues forward like before, right, that means you could see what happens with some tremendous gains about to come. But it does take a while. It doesn't come immediately. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it goes like 2015. Look at it. Even after it happened, it was months upon months upon months upon months before things started moving, right? So sometimes it happens. The market doesn't move. Obviously, we got a lot more macro stuff to worry about now than before in 2015 or 2018. So it's a little bit different story. But, you know, if you're looking at something like this, very encouraging that we have basically just found bottom, right? We have found bottom and we've moved past it. And this article also talks about, well, what does that mean afterwards? Well, if you look at those bottom marks, right, and then you look at basically a year from then, okay, from that bottom, traditionally speaking, Bitcoin goes up about 100 plus percent. So in 2015, it went up about 111% after about 392 days. In 2018, it went up about 104% after 294 days. So if we're taking an average, and let's say we go from here 343 days, roughly a year from now, which would put us in August of 2023, right? So we got one full year. And if we do go up 100%, well, that would put Bitcoin right back up to $41,000, which is a much better place than we are now, right? But, you know, that's just something that could happen. Maybe it happens sooner. Maybe it happens later. Hopefully not later. But just something interesting I want to show you guys. If we're following previous history, that may be what we have to look forward to. Okay, so if we do have to wait a full year, right? I know it's not what some of you guys want to hear. You don't want to hear that we have to wait a full year just to get back to 40,000. But keep in mind, things tend to move unexpectedly at times, because if you look at 2018 and 2019, even though it was at 104% after 1 year, but prior to that, it actually shot up quite a bit. I remember Bitcoin going from 3,000 to 14,000 like really quickly, right? Really quickly before it settled down back around like 8,000 or 9,000. Then we continue forward. So just to show you guys what could be coming. Of course, a lot of people do think this already because the next halving event is 2024. So a lot of people think 2023 we're just gonna go sideways until we get into 2024, when then things really move forward, right? So yeah, just something interesting to look at. But, you know, something else that's interesting to look at is this. All those previous bottoms that we talked about or we just looked at, right? We are more oversold than both of those bottoms. So this is looking at the monthly RSI. And you can see the monthly RSI has never dipped below that 43 mark. You can see the red line, okay? That was the 2014-2015 bottom, the 2018-2019 bottom. I just showed you guys. Bitcoin RSI level never went below. But guess where we are? We're below that right now. So technically speaking, Bitcoin is the most oversold right now on the monthly scale than it has ever been in its history. So that's pretty encouraging to think about, right? So if you're looking for an indicator of like when to buy, like this is a pretty good indicator, all things considering. All right, so those are things I want to start out with Bitcoin. So don't give up hope. You know, stay strong, stay focused, have patience. It may take a while before full recovery, but Bitcoin is still strong and getting stronger. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin and crypto for the first time and you don't know where to get started, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on the best exchange guide. Within, you'll find a list of exchanges that I recommend and some that I use on a daily basis. So if you want to learn more, head over to CryptosRus.com or utilize the links in the description of this video.